Day 2 was always going to be a very different kind of day. No longer on the coast, now into the Lake District. But now there was something extra added to the mix by the national weather forecast. Rain was coming in, and it was coming in hard. Now we had an opportunity first thing in the morning to get up, get ready, get packed away with all our stuff dry and into our Bergens where it should stay that way, and get on dressed appropriate to the weather that was likely to arrive. And that's exactly what we did. It worked a treat. At the east end of Ennerdale Water, the river Lisa flows in. On the north side, Wainwright's path follows that side of the valley, but on the south side there is also a route that you can follow. We chose the south side. As it transpired, the north route, which takes you past the Gilthwaite Field Centre, was closed. This is a working environment and there was logging going on, and they had closed the path. 7 kilometres later, there is a ford just below Black Sail Hut, and we crossed the River Lisa there. Black Sail Hut was closed because of COVID regulations, which was a bit depressing, but never mind, we continued to follow the river. Things have just gone hardcore. And they've gone hardcore because of that. Leaving Black Sail Hut, you follow the bottom of the valley to the east, up to Loftbeck. Loftbeck joins from the north out of its own small valley, and that's where the path now goes. Somewhere up that valley we lost the path. Either it disappears, the conditions that we found ourselves in, which were deteriorating fast by then, meant that we couldn't see it anymore, or my map reading is poor. Take your pick. Halfway up it, however, we found ourselves climbing a very tricky 45-degree scree slope, which took us about an hour to get beyond. Once at the top, however, we took a bearing to get us across the old tramway, turning right east towards Honister Slate Mine. Across the top and dropping down to the Slate Mine, the weather just deteriorated dramatically. We had snow, we had sleet, we had steroid rain, we had blowing a gale, we had thunder, and we had lightning. It's a very tricky descent in those conditions down to the Slate Mine, and a couple of falls happened, fortunately with no injuries. Once at the bottom, we were delighted to see the cafe was open. We grabbed hot food, had a hot drink each, and sat around and had a think about what we were going to do next. The plan was to divide this day into 2 parts, and we were now sort of at the halfway point, 8 miles in and 12 miles ahead of us. We knew what was behind us and could only assume that the same and more was ahead. Looking at the weather forecast, looking at the conditions that we were looking at, the only decision that we could make was to say, that's it, time out. And we sacked it at that point on the basis that, as much as we were confident in our abilities to traverse a distance, and we were confident that the kit that we had with us was good, if we had slipped, fell, picked up an injury, 2 people wouldn't be enough to get the 3rd person off the hill. And that would require Mountain Rescue's involvement, and we could not justify putting those volunteers at risk for our leisure activity of a walk that day. And so our decision was the right decision. The old army phrase, improvise, adapt and overcome. The environment had changed itself dramatically, and we adapted to that. The weather forecast for the following day was far better. We called a cab. We went back to St Bees, we got the car, we drove to the campsite, had a night in, sorting out our administration, so that the following day we were fresh and ready, slightly behind schedule, but prepared to go safely.